For decades, few comedians embodied British television humor more completely than Benny Hill. With his unmistakable grin, energetic slapstick routines, and chaotic chase sequences, Hill became one of the most recognizable entertainers in the world. His comedy crossed international borders, reaching millions of viewers in more than 140 countries and transforming The Benny Hill Show into a global television phenomenon. Audiences tuned in not only for the outrageous sketches and playful satire, but also for Hill's unique ability to combine visual comedy with music, parody, and physical performance. His style drew inspiration from classic British music hall traditions while embracing the growing possibilities of television entertainment. Yet behind the laughter and enormous popularity, the story of Benny Hill is far more complicated than many viewers realized. While his comedy once represented harmless fun to millions, changing social attitudes eventually transformed parts of his act into subjects of controversy and criticism. What had once been celebrated as cheeky entertainment slowly began to appear outdated to modern audiences. By the late 1980s, one particular sketch would ignite intense backlash and contribute to the downfall of the series that had dominated television screens for years. Critics accused the program of objectifying women and relying too heavily on crude humor at a time when public sensibilities were rapidly evolving. The controversy surrounding The Benny Hill Show reflected larger cultural changes occurring in Britain and beyond. Comedy itself was changing, and audiences increasingly questioned material that previous generations had accepted without hesitation. Benny Hill suddenly found himself caught between two eras of entertainment. To longtime fans, he remained a brilliant comic genius. To critics, he symbolized an older style of humor struggling to survive in a changing society. Understanding how such a beloved entertainer reached that point requires examining not only the controversial sketch itself, but also the remarkable life and career that came before it. The early life that shaped Benny Hill's comic spirit. Benny Hill was born Alfred Hawthorne Hill on January 21, 1924, in Southampton, Hampshire, England, although some sources list 1925 as his birth year. His upbringing offered an unusual combination of ordinary working-class life and inherited performance tradition. His father, Alfred Hill, managed a surgical appliance shop, providing the family with a stable livelihood far removed from show business. Yet entertainment existed within the family's history because Benny's grandfather, Henry Hill, had once worked as a circus clown. That connection to performance and comedy would later influence Hill's creative instincts and fascination with visual humor. As a child, Hill attended Taunton School in Southampton, though his education did not immediately lead him toward acting or comedy. Instead, his early adulthood involved a series of ordinary jobs that reflected the economic realities of the era. He worked at Woolworths, delivered milk, operated bridges, drove vehicles, and even played drums. These experiences exposed him to a wide variety of personalities and situations that would later inspire the exaggerated characters and comic scenarios featured in his sketches. Hill's first serious step into entertainment came when he became an assistant stage manager with a touring theatrical revue. This role introduced him to the mechanics of live performance, including timing, staging, coordination, and audience engagement. The experience proved invaluable because it allowed him to observe performers closely while developing an understanding of how comedy functions in front of a crowd. Even during these early years, Hill displayed the qualities that would define his later success. He possessed strong observational skills, remarkable adaptability, and a natural instinct for physical comedy. Though he had not yet achieved fame, the foundations of his comedic style were already forming. Those humble beginnings would eventually shape one of the most distinctive and internationally recognized entertainers in television history. War service and the entertainment experience that changed his future. Like many young men of his generation, Benny Hill's life was dramatically shaped by World War II. In 1942, he was called up for military service and joined the Royal Electrical and Mechanical Engineers, a branch of the British Army responsible for maintaining and repairing military equipment. Hill trained as a mechanic, developing practical technical skills that reflected discipline and resourcefulness. Although these duties may have seemed unrelated to entertainment, the experience contributed to his resilience and ability to adapt under pressure. During his military service, Hill worked in several roles, including mechanic, truck driver, and searchlight operator. His deployment to Normandy in September 1944 placed him in one of the most significant campaigns of the war. The Normandy operations played a critical role in the Allied liberation of Western Europe, and Hill's responsibilities supported the movement of troops, supplies, and defense systems. While his later fame centered on laughter and absurdity, his wartime experiences exposed him to danger, uncertainty, and the harsh realities of conflict. Before the war ended, Hill transferred to the Combined Services Entertainment Division, commonly known as CSE. This move proved transformative. The division organized performances designed to boost morale among Allied troops, featuring comedians, musicians, and entertainers. For Hill, the experience became an informal training ground for his future career. He learned how to hold an audience's attention under difficult circumstances and refined his timing, delivery, and stage presence. The wartime entertainment environment also introduced Hill to the traditions of British music hall comedy, which emphasized physical humor, exaggerated characters, and audience interaction. He became particularly inspired by famous comedians of the era and admired American entertainer Jack Benny so much that he adopted Animalkeer as his stage name. By the end of the war, Hill had discovered not only his passion for comedy but also the performance style that would define his future success on television screens around the world. The difficult road through radio and early television. Benny Hill's path to fame was far from immediate. Like many entertainers of his era, he began building his career through radio, which remained one of Britain's dominant entertainment mediums after World War II. His first major breakthrough came on October 5, 1947, when he appeared on the popular radio program Variety Bandbox. The opportunity introduced Hill's comedic style to a broader audience and demonstrated his talent for timing, character work, and quick verbal humor. Listeners responded positively to his performances, encouraging him to continue pursuing a career in entertainment. Despite these early successes, Hill's journey remained uncertain. Some radio appearances gained attention, while others failed to leave a lasting impression. He struggled at times to establish himself consistently, and reviews of his stage performances were often mixed. Yet these setbacks helped sharpen his comedic instincts. Hill experimented constantly, learning which styles of humor resonated most strongly with audiences. Through trial and error, he developed the blend of slapstick, parody, and visual absurdity that would later define his television work. Television eventually provided the breakthrough Hill truly needed. In 1950, he made his first television appearance, discovering that the visual element dramatically expanded his comedic possibilities. Physical gestures, facial expressions, and visual gags became central components of his act. Hill realized that television allowed him to combine silent film-inspired slapstick with spoken comedy in ways radio could never fully capture. Throughout the early 1960s, Hill expanded his creative range. In one television series, he portrayed a different character in every episode, showcasing remarkable versatility. He also surprised audiences by appearing in a television adaptation of Shakespeare's A Midsummer Night's Dream in 1964, playing Nick Bottom alongside respected actors. The performance demonstrated that Hill possessed genuine acting ability beyond pure comedy. These formative years of experimentation ultimately prepared him for the massive success that arrived when The Benny Hill Show and global stardom. On January 15, 1955, The Benny Hill Show premiered on the BBC and began a television legacy that would last more than 3 decades. From the beginning, the program distinguished itself through a unique style inspired heavily by British music hall traditions. The format combined live sketches, pre-recorded segments, musical performances, parody, and slapstick humor into a fast-paced variety show unlike anything else on television at the time. Benny Hill quickly became known for his energetic performances, exaggerated facial expressions, and willingness to embrace absurdity without restraint. A major strength of the show was its talented supporting cast. Performers such as Patricia Hayes, Jeremy Hawke, Peter Vernon, Ronnie Brody, and co-writer Dave Freeman helped create the vibrant comedic world surrounding Hill. One particularly beloved figure was Jackie Wright, whose bald head became a recurring target of Hill's famous slapping routines. Wright's deadpan reactions and impeccable timing made him a perfect comic partner, and audiences adored their exaggerated interactions. The program evolved significantly after moving from the BBC to Thames Television in 1969. Under the new format, the show aired as hour-long specials rather than weekly episodes, giving Hill greater creative freedom and allowing for more elaborate sketches and musical sequences. Production quality improved dramatically, and the series soon gained enormous international popularity. Its visual humor translated easily across language barriers, making Hill one of Britain's most successful global entertainers. One of the most iconic features of the series became the famous chase sequence that typically concluded episodes. Accompanied by the energetic tune Yakety Sax, these scenes featured frantic pursuits involving police officers, elderly women, clergymen, and glamorous models. The footage was often undercranked to create exaggerated speed, adding to the absurdity. These endings became cultural symbols of the show itself. At its height, the Benny Hill Show represented a form of comedy beloved by millions and instantly recognizable around the world. The comedic style that made Benny Hill. Both loved and criticized Benny Hill's comedy style was unmistakable. His sketches blended slapstick, parody, double entendres, visual gags, and exaggerated physical performances into a fast-moving spectacle designed to provoke immediate laughter. Influenced heavily by silent film comedians and British music hall traditions, Hill relied on exaggerated expressions, absurd misunderstandings, and chaotic situations to entertain audiences. His humor often involved authority figures behaving foolishly, ordinary people caught in ridiculous circumstances, and elaborate chase scenes filled with comic confusion. For many viewers, this approach felt joyful and harmless. Hill's comedy required little explanation and transcended language barriers, allowing audiences worldwide to enjoy the humor regardless of cultural differences. His playful energy and mischievous persona gave the show a unique identity that appealed to both children and adults. In many countries, the Benny Hill Show became synonymous with British comedy itself. However, Hill's humor also increasingly attracted criticism as social attitudes evolved. Many sketches centered around sexual innuendo and the portrayal of women as objects of male desire. Attractive female performers frequently appeared in revealing costumes, while male characters chased, ogled, or flirted with them in exaggerated ways. During earlier decades, much of the audience viewed these jokes as harmless cheekiness. By the late 1970s and 1980s, however, critics began arguing that such material reflected outdated and sexist attitudes. Hill's defenders insisted that the comedy was intentionally exaggerated and never intended to cause harm. They argued that the show mocked everyone equally, including pompous men, incompetent authority figures, and Hill himself. Yet critics believed the recurring portrayal of women reinforced negative stereotypes. The growing debate highlighted broader cultural changes occurring within society. Comedy that once felt acceptable was now being re-evaluated through new social standards. Benny Hill suddenly found himself at the center of discussions about sexism, representation, and the limits of humor in modern entertainment. The complex legacy of a comedy legend. Benny Hill remains one of the most complicated figures in television history because his legacy combines extraordinary success with lasting controversy. For millions of viewers around the world, he represented joy, laughter, and harmless escapism. His energetic performances, unforgettable music, and absurd sketches created moments of entertainment that became deeply embedded in popular culture. At the height of his fame, few comedians could match his global reach or his ability to make audiences laugh without saying a single word. Yet his downfall demonstrated how rapidly public opinion can change. Comedy that once felt playful to mainstream audiences gradually became criticized as offensive or outdated. The controversial beauty pageant sketch symbolized this cultural shift and accelerated the growing backlash against the show. Benny Hill found himself trapped between two generations with very different ideas about acceptable humor. Despite the criticism, it would be unfair to reduce Hill's career to a single controversy. His contributions to television comedy were significant and far-reaching. He helped popularize sketch comedy internationally and demonstrated the universal appeal of visual humor. His influence can still be seen in modern comedy programs that rely on physical performance, parody, and fast-paced editing. At the same time, the debates surrounding his work remain important because they reflect broader conversations about entertainment, gender representation, and changing cultural values. Benny Hill's story illustrates that comedy is never entirely separate from the society in which it exists. As audiences evolve, so too does their understanding of humor and its impact. More than 3 decades after the Benny Hill show ended, people still discuss Benny Hill because he represented both the brilliance and the limitations of a particular era of television. His career serves as a reminder that entertainers can be beloved, influential, controversial, and misunderstood all at once. That complexity is precisely why Benny Hill continues to fascinate audiences and historians today.